Today on Ag Etc., I visit with George Elder, owner of Eldersley's Farms in Valley Center. He explains the history and methodology behind his farm-to-table eatery and how they're taking production agriculture into a niche market approach. Then the Kansas Water Office brings you videos highlighting water technology farm producers. This week we meet Pat Jensen from Stafford County. Learn about his water-saving approaches utilizing existing equipment, wiping out most capital cost. Next, I bring you this week's Young Leader in Ag, Logan Elliott. Finally, curious about getting into raising your own poultry? Ryan Fleming, Harvey County K-State Extension Agent, brings you everything you need to know about starting your own flock. It's all coming up on Ag Etc. Stay tuned.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm Britton Rucker, and I am here in Valley Center visiting Eldersley's Farm, who has a unique farm-to-table approach. Eldersley's Farm began in 2010 when George Elder and his sister planted blackberries near their childhood home just north of Wichita. In 2011, George married Catherine, who brought a history of rich culinary experience from her family and their travels to Europe. The small outdoor dining experience eventually turned into breakfast and lunch, complete with a formal meal at Eldersley's Farms.
We started as a home. Eldersley means where the elders are buried, and we take that idea of inhabiting a space for the long term really seriously. We're a blackberry farm first, and then we've developed through my wife and her family a restaurant and an outdoor cafe that's in season right now. The last development most recently is our creamery here on the food side. The creamery focuses on grass-fed milk and artisan cheese. I lead the cheese making and help support the dairy, but we are thrilled both to be able to showcase a really authentically regional flavor through rotational grazing and the spectacular alfalfa production that the Great Plains offer as balanced nutritional sources for our herd, and also to be able to include the milk from Fay Farms down in Udall to give us a separate pallet set with cow milk that we use to fill out our line of cheeses. We are very delighted to be able to share each one of the products with people through the summer as they're out doing things with their kids and families, or to be able to share anniversaries and birthdays with people that come out for fine dining. But we see agriculture as the tending and care of the land with the fullest amount of our attention, our technical abilities, and our heart. And the dining culture is a mirror image of that, where they are treating ingredients with that same passion and drive to allow it to speak. Because I don't care how good the carrot is that you grew, if somebody in a kitchen mishandles it, it can become a terrible experience. And so we're really excited that we're able to offer both sides of that to people as an experience of Central Kansas.
When we come back, we'll have more with George here on Ag Etc.
No one plans to get sick or injured, but when life happens, it's important you and your family are protected. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans are there to provide continued health care coverage to meet your needs. Choose from a broad range of individual and family plans. And if you're over 65, we have options for you too. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back to Ag Etc. We're returning with George Elder from Eldersley's Farm in Valley Center.
In small-scale production, you are looking for niches that allow you to distinguish yourself and to justify, in an economic sense, the desire you have for whatever product it is that you're going to create or experience you're going to create for people. And the interest in the depth of ecology on the production side that is then carried over to a depth of flavor and of healthfulness on the consumer side is, in my opinion, one of the key relationships to understand as a small producer, because it allows us to not compete head-to-head in a commodity market where we would be completely crushed and irrelevant, but to look to a different market interaction that has emerged not just as a tiny little thing, but mainstream. Go to Dillon's and look at the milk cases. You have a span from $1.60 in commodity milk production to $11.40 up to $12 or $13, depending on what the sales are doing, in grass-fed organic dairy. That span is something critical to understand for small producers as we try to create a small volume of products that are worth our time and create a livelihood that's sustaining for our families. And we focus on grass-fed milk, and we focus on the ecological approach to agriculture because it is a way that we can honor our vision of tending and dressing central Kansas in a beautiful, productive way. But it's also an economic necessity that we look at higher value as a potential avenue for economic sustainability in the long term. Here at Eldersley, we have married physically and really agriculture and hospitality. My wife's family has brought a wonderful history of hospitality and culinary delight from their life experience, and my wife Catherine leads our culinary team as executive chef with culinary professionals at the very top of their game as our culinary team. We have a wonderful set of spaces both inside and out. We do fine dining 3 nights a week for special occasions like anniversaries or birthday parties or a corporate event. Give us a call. We'd love to help you with that. We delight in the fact that hospitality is a way that communities continue to serve and love one another and build an identity together that is real and authentic, not superficial, not just based on an economic relationship, but one based on personal interaction, and we take that seriously. I lead service here, so if you come out, I'd love to take you to your table. And my wife has invested her heart and entire attention in making the culinary experience one that is elevating, delightful, and exciting as you go through an evening here. Central Kansas is a place that I and my family adore, and it's a culture worth nourishing, and that is what we're committed to. But we're so thankful for everybody that has allowed us the opportunity to do that by patronizing us, and I'm excited to watch other producers and other endeavors as this culture continues to deepen and richen. And I don't think we should ever think of ourselves as second to someone. We're young, and we have a long ways in that process of culturally growing up and deepening, but we are not at some disadvantage. We have an unbelievable, remarkable place here that begs getting to know and loving by all of us who are involved in agriculture and all of us who consume agricultural products. So we're always excited to share that process and journey with people.
For Ag AM in Kansas, I'm Britton Rucker.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business has started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, and we're glad to answer it and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Welcome back to Ag Etc. Next, the Kansas Water Office brings you videos highlighting water technology farms, this week being Pat Jansen.
My name is Pat Jansen, Acting Secretary of the Water Protection Association of Central Kansas. We operate a collaborative water technology farm with ILS Farms. This is our 5th year participating in the program. Our overall goal with our new tech farm, we're in the 2nd year of it, is to demonstrate producers can save water by taking existing equipment, not making any significant capital expenses, just getting their pressures correct, everything operating within the parameters it was designed to operate, and then utilizing either moisture probes, satellite imagery, any number of technologies that are probably $10 per acre per year to implement these technologies. There's no reason to be afraid of this technology. If I can operate it, anybody can. With what we've been doing with our irrigation scheduling, we've actually had a couple of neighbors we've been off enough that they have noticed and asked about our production levels and what we're doing. Them asking about that sparked a conversation, and we got to comparing some numbers, because it went from water use to yield to nitrogen to the entire gamut of production practices. Our actual production the end of the year was nearly identical, and we had a net savings of approximately 20%, and we were able to compare notes and just have a general conversation that you couldn't have started otherwise. By us implementing these conservation practices on our own, conserving water, it's going to give us the ability to determine our destiny and how we are able to operate in the future. I guess the biggest thing we're struggling with is getting producer participation and getting this information out there. If you have any suggestions or ideas, please contact myself or the water office.
These days, no one can afford to take the risk of being without financial protection against high health care costs, not even for a few days. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans offer short-term health care coverage to fill in those temporary gaps. Short-term health plans can provide you with medical coverage when you are between health plans, helping lower your potential financial risk. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you.
I'm Bob Schwartz, and I've devoted the last 43 years to helping Kansans reach their retirement goals and to protect the family farm. At Bob Schwartz Financial, we believe everyone should be able to live the retirement they've always dreamed of. Our team of professionals can help you create an efficient strategy using a variety of investment vehicles to help you address your financial needs and your concerns. Bob Schwartz Financial values commitment and transparency.
Highways 40, 83, and I-70 come together right here in Oakley. Roads that lead to businesses, to magnificent rock formations, to scenic vistas, to places where legends were made. Roads that lead us home. Discover Oakley, the gateway to Western Kansas.
This segment brought to you by Farm Credit Associations of Kansas, lending support to rural America, and by American Ag Service, your DuPont Pioneer dealer.
Welcome back to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm Britton Rucker. We're returning with our Young Leaders in Ag segment, and this week's Young Leader in Ag is Logan Elliott. Welcome, Logan.
Thank you.
Logan, go into a bit of your ag background.
So my ag background is a little interesting, had some twists and turns along the way. I am a fifth generation beef producer, but my family did not become directly involved until I was about 11 years old and we entered 4-H. My few grades back, grandfather brought, the folk story is that he brought some of the first Herefords across the Mississippi River to establish his herd in Missouri. And that's something that we're very, very proud of. And that is why we decided once we got into 4-H and began investing in some livestock, we started buying and purchasing our own Hereford cattle. So I have a small herd of Hereford cattle that I, along with my family, run, as well as a few head of Boer goats that we run in a breeding program. And that's kind of my more, I guess, direct tie to production agriculture. Been a lot of really good experiences that have come out of my involvement in 4-H. And as I got older, I followed my brother into the Riverton FFA chapter in the Kansas FFA Association and got a lot of really, really cool experiences out of that as well. A lot of leadership experiences and life skills along the way there over the course of, younger kid, 10, 11 years old, going into 4-H. To where I stand today, I'm just recently retiring from my position as the 2019-2020 Kansas FFA president.
Yeah, so naturally your next steps after high school was to attend Kansas State University.
Yes, and as somebody who went to a Kansas high school, very invested in FFA, looking for a chance to become more involved in the ag industry, Kansas State was the place to go, especially with looking to pursue that position as a state officer. Kansas FFA is based off of the K-State campus there in Manhattan. So it was a natural choice as I wanted to go into ag education, become an agricultural education instructor, and hopefully going to come back to a local area close to home, high school here in southeastern Kansas. And went into ag education because as I went through my experience in ag education, even before I was formally in the classroom at Riverton High School, just so many experiences, as I said before, so many amazing opportunities that helped shape who I am today. And that's something that I really want to try to continue to pursue and impact in the future.
So next question and last question, probably loaded question. What's next for you in the agricultural industry?
You know, that's been something that I've been considering for a long time. My grandfather has done, and many people that I know in the ag industry have done just about everything under the sun, along with their involvement in agriculture. And sometimes their involvement with agriculture is just constantly changing. And it sounds really cheesy, but we were at K-State. I went through the program to become a College of Ag ambassador. And one day we had a guest speaker, and for role, they asked us, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was never really like the kid that wanted to be an astronaut or anything. I went through like math teacher. I actually was going to go into nuclear engineering at K-State, all over the place. And I've chosen my path in agricultural education because I think that's really going to prepare me well to fulfill my answer to that question, which was, when I grow up, I want to be happy. And I really think that the agricultural industry, ag education, the opportunities that spread out from there are going to provide an awesome opportunity for me to positively interact with lots of people and hopefully do some good there and truly be happy in whatever I do, whether that's continuing on in some capacity in the Blue Jacket or with the FFA organization, or in the classroom, in production agriculture. I don't know that I can tell you for sure what my next step is going to be, but right now I'm going to pursue that agricultural education degree, and at some point I plan to go into the classroom.
Well, I give you big kudos from being a daughter of an old ag teacher. I give kudos to all the ag teachers out there. They're very important.
Yeah, I've had several, including Mr. Larison at the home chapter, that have done so many amazing things for me, and that's really something I'd like to pay forward. And yep, can't thank them enough.
Absolutely. Well, Logan, thank you so much for being on the program.
I'm very glad to be here.
I'm Britton Rucker, and this has been Ag AM in Kansas.
At Farm Credit, we partner with America's farmers who work hard each and every day to grow the food that we all enjoy. It's not an easy task, but it's an important one. Farm Credit is proud to work with farmers and ranchers, lending support in rural America.
These days, no one can afford to take the risk of being without financial protection against high health care costs, not even for a few days. Kansas Farm Bureau health plans offer short-term health care coverage to fill in those temporary gaps. Short-term health plans can provide you with medical coverage when you are between health plans, helping lower your potential financial risk. Learn more at kfbhealthplans.com or contact a Farm Bureau financial services agent near you.
In the middle of this current challenge, that mission remains unchanged. Our promise has always been to provide relevant, science-based education and information to help you make decisions to maintain and improve your health, build and sustain businesses, grow your community, steward resources, and raise the next generation of capable, responsible, thoughtful community leaders.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Let us help feed your family.
Welcome back to Ag Etc. Next, you'll hear from Ryan Fleming over everything you need to know about raising your own poultry.
There's kind of three ways you can go. If you want egg-laying chickens, I would go with Leghorn, Americana. Those type of chickens they're real popular, easy to get a hold of, and they're a high-end output for laying eggs. If you want chickens that can lay eggs and then still butcher them and have a lot of meat, I would go with Barred Rock, Silver Lace Wyandotte, Rhode Island Red, New Hampshires. Those are good breeds that can play in both worlds, good egg production and meat production. And if you just want chickens for butchering, I would go with a Cornish or a Cornish Barred Rock cross, something like that. That's pretty popular. You can get them about any places, where hatcheries or feed stores where you can order chicks. And then depending on what size you want or how soon you want your birds to be in production, you can get chicks, medium aged birds, or birds that are mature and laying. With chicks, it's going to take a while before they can go into production. Or butchering them takes at least 9 weeks to grow a chicken out for butchering. Egg production will take longer. Young birds, you'll get going a lot quicker. Might be a pretty good route to go, because that way you still know it's a young bird and there's a lot of life left in them. If you go with a mature bird, sometimes you might buy something that's older than you think and might not lay very much anymore. And if you're buying old birds for butchering, it could be a little tougher for butchering. I wouldn't really suggest it if you're going to buy, or if you're wanting to get a lot of production out of them. If you want more production, I would start with chicks or young birds. So when you have your birds, you got to be able to know what to feed them. And you can go to any local farm store, Tractor Supply, Atwoods, Orscheln, local co-op, and they'll have the feed available that you need. Just know if you need to grow them out, tell the people, I'm growing birds out for butchering, or I'm growing birds out for egg laying. Their feeds will differ a little bit, but it's pretty easy to get the right feed that you need for your birds. And for maximizing laying potential, just make sure they've got adequate space. If you questioned yourself, I think my bird's a little too compact, not enough space for them, they probably will be. So when you're out gathering your eggs, make sure you're gathering from the same spots every day, and that way you know you're getting a fresh egg in there. Always gather them from a spot where you know you checked the day before, you know you're getting a fresh egg, because you don't want any nasty surprises when you go to crack an egg open. For cleaning them off or storing them, I just take a moist, cool wash rag, kind of scrub mud off if they're muddy. You usually don't have to do too much to the eggs to clean them. You don't need to disinfect them or anything. And for storing eggs, just put them in a carton in the refrigerator for a week or two and you'll be good there. If you have poultry or chickens that you are wanting to butcher, making sure you're probably going to have a boiler cross, and they take 9 or plus weeks to be old enough to butcher. Make sure they're the right age. And then when you go to butcher them, there is a lot of help on KSRE. There's pamphlets and handouts that we have for you that you can read up and study up on that.
Thanks for watching Ag Etc. As always, I'm Britton Rucker, and I'll see you next week here on Ag AM in Kansas.